group called the West Suburban Dancing Social and Activities Group.
Just another meetup.
He had been active in it for a year. She signed up for the group, but was too chicken to go without her friend, Karen. Good friend. Karen wasn't as interested in the group, but Jane knew she could con her into going on the boat crawl. The ladies almost missed the launch. Karen, being Karen, was running late. The group arrives at the third bar called Captain's Quarters. Karen goes to freshen up. Jane goes to the bar and gets drinks for the two of them. Brian is standing next to her at the bar. Her first impression? That shirt is too big on him. He was losing weight at the time. His first impression? Wow. And he says to her, girls can always get drinks quicker than guys can. Can you use your assets to get the bartender's attention so we can get some drinks? She looks down at her assets. She looks down the bar to the bartender and proceeds to tell Brian, I don't think she'll be interested in my assets. There had been a male bartender 5 minutes earlier. She says, I think it's up to you to impress her with your assets. They have to wait another 5+ minutes to get their drinks. She goes to a table, waiting for Karen to get back. Brian goes outside to join the group. An hour later, at the same bar, people are dancing. Brian cuts in and dances with Jane. The DJ is playing a fast song. They dance with others in the group. The DJ puts on a slower song. He asks her to dance. They're going in circles doing the, and I quote them, the white boy shuffle. And then he realizes that she is leading him. He stops dancing. I'm the one who's supposed to be leading here, he says. But I can't see the game, she replies. She is angling to see the TV, which is showing the Bears in a preseason overtime game. What, he says? I asked you to dance and you want to watch the game? It took him a minute to realize what this meant. She loves football. He thinks, that's a plus. The boat taxi arrives and it's full, so they have to wait there another hour. The whole group engages in conversation to make the time pass. She says to the group, what is the name of Sally Field's character in The Flying Nun? She stumps everyone until Brian looks up from his iPhone and says, Sister Rachel. She thinks he's cheating. But if he's going to cheat, I'd rather him be on my team than playing against me. Finally, they get on the boat taxi. They sit together, full of liquid courage. He goes in for the kiss. She resists. 5 minutes later, he kisses her on the neck. That's cheating, she says to him. No one can resist that. And with that, they kiss. And they've been dating ever since. Together, they enjoy dancing and traveling, movies, wine trips, and family events. How did Brian propose to Jane? It was November of 2011. These two go to a wake. The mother of someone in the meetup group had passed away. Brian is at a class at work. Jane goes out to dinner with the girls. Lori, who is here, asks, when are you going to get engaged? I don't know, Jane says. You'll know before I do. Poor Lori works for a jeweler. In that case, she says, what do you like? And began quizzing Jane on her preferences. A month later, Brian goes into Lori's store. Lori remembers what Jane likes and guides him to a radiant cut with a party on the side. He buys the ring. A few weeks later, she has to go to school for a parents' meeting. Jane asks, are you okay taking care of dinner for you and the girls? Sure, he replies, I have a Groupon. Brian, Andrew, and Susie go to a Japanese steakhouse. They are waiting for a table. He's nervous. The girls notice. They get a table. Do you think your mom would ever be willing to get married again? He asked. Yeah, probably, they reply nonchalantly. And then he shows them the ring. Their eyes get big. They squeal with joy and excitement. They all start planning on how he can propose. That evening, she arrives home from the financial aid meeting. Susie says, what do you know? FAFSA is a form, she replies, I have to fill out for college financial aid. All three of them are acting weird. For the next 2 weeks, they whisper and make phone calls without her being able to hear it. He asks her about weddings. He is waiting to propose after Amanda's wedding to Tyler. Sandy, Jane's best friend and a bridesmaid, is Amanda's mom, and Jane's helping to plan the wedding. He does not want to steal the couple's thunder. There is much wedding talk in the household. The Saturday after Amanda and Tyler's wedding, in the foyer of their home, they had just gotten back from a meetup event at Arlington Racetrack. He gets the ring and comes downstairs with it. She is at the bottom of the stairs. He is on the first step. He opens the ring box, saying nothing. Really? She asked. And repeats it. Well, he says, you haven't asked me yet. Then he gets down on one knee and says, I love you very much. Will you marry me? She says, yes. Brian takes a photo on his iPhone and sends it to Sandy. Their families and the girls. In response, Brian and Jane's phones are ringing off the hook, but they don't reply. They're celebrating. They finally return the phone calls and then go out with Sandy, Lori, Bob, and Diane to celebrate their engagement. And that's what brings us to today. What is it Jane especially loves and appreciates about Brian? He is kind and supportive. He is steady in the midst of her hectic life. She can count on him to be there to share happy times, sad times, and the everyday stuff of life. He keeps her going out and enjoying life. He always wakes her up with a kiss, greets her with a kiss, and kisses her goodnight. What is it Brian especially loves and appreciates about Jane? She's a strong and kind woman. She is smart. She loves her family. He always brightens his day when he sees her smile. She is a great kisser. Future plans. The couple will honeymoon in Riviera Maya in Mexico. Brian and Jane, I challenge you to love with the greatest kind of love there is, unconditional love. It's easy to love someone who does nice things for you. It's also not that hard to love someone you respect and admire. But there is something that goes far beyond the words, I love you if, or I love you because. Unconditional love says to the other person, I love you anyway, and I always will, no matter what. Now, this is the rarest form of love, and it certainly has the most risk, but no marriage can last without it. It should never be given lightly, but once given, it should never be withdrawn. When we pray the Lord's Prayer, we ask God to forgive us in the same way that we forgive others. Brian and Jane, unfortunately, neither of you are perfect. You will each make mistakes. But unconditional love says to the other person, I forgive you. I still love you. And I will stay with you the rest of my life. Love that way. Brian and Jane, it's now time to exchange your wedding vows. As we learn in The Art of Marriage, written by William A. Peterson, the little things are the big things. It is never being too old to hold hands. It is remembering to say I love you at least once a day. It is never going to sleep angry. It is at no time taking the other for granted. The courtship should not end with the honeymoon. It should continue through all the years. It is having a mutual sense of values and common objectives. It is standing together, facing the world. It is forming a circle of love that gathers in the whole family. It is doing things for each other, not in the attitude of duty or sacrifice, but in the spirit of joy. It is speaking words of appreciation and demonstrating gratitude in thoughtful ways. It is not expecting the husband to wear a halo or the wife to have the wings of an angel. It is not looking for perfection in each other. It is cultivating flexibility, patience, understanding, and a sense of humor. It is having the capacity to forgive and forget. It is giving each other an atmosphere in which each can grow. It is finding room for the things of the Spirit. It is a common touch. a common search for the good and the beautiful. It is establishing a relationship in which the independence is equal, the dependence is mutual, and the obligation is reciprocal. It is not only marrying the right person, it is being the right partner. Brian, will you have Jane to be your lawful wedded wife? Will you love her, comfort her, keep her in sickness and in health, and, forsaking all others, be faithful to her so long as you both shall live? If so, respond, I do. Jane, will you have Brian to be your lawful wedded husband? Will you love him, comfort him, keep him in sickness and in health, and, forsaking all others, be faithful to him so long as you both shall live? If so, respond, I do. The bride and groom have provided rings to symbolize these vows. Traditionally, the marking of the passage to the status of husband and wife is noted by the exchange of rings. Thank you, Susan. These are powerful statements of love, a seal upon your wedding vows. Let them mark you as husband and wife and wear them with joy. They are gifts as you are gifts to each other. Remember that tonight and tomorrow and next week and next month and through decade upon decade, celebration of life together. They are circular in their shape, a symbol of permanence, completeness, wholeness and fullness, a symbol of the unbroken circle of love. May these rings always remind you of the vows you've just made. Brian, if you please place this ring on Jane's finger, repeat each phrase after me, but saying it to her. With this ring, I thee wed. I give it to you as a symbol of our vows. With all that I am and all that I have, I give myself to you. Jane, if you please place this ring on Brian's finger, repeat each phrase after me, but saying it to him. With this ring, I thee wed. I give it to you. It's a symbol of our vows. With all that I am and all that I have, I give myself to you. Andrew and Susie, would you please come over here, stand in front of me? Here's what your mother has to say about the four of you. So face them. This is what your mom says about the four of you. Love is like the loaves and fishes. When God gave me dear, beautiful Andrea, my heart was so full, I didn't think it was possible to love more. And then God gave me my sweet Susie Q, and my heart had doubled in size with double the love for two precious gifts. And now a new gift of love with Brian and more room in my heart. Brian and I each give you a pendant, a symbol of their love and dedication to you both. It's a heart holding two hearts within it. It's supported by a strong chain to keep it safe and secure. Think of the large heart as a mother's heart holding her children tight with no room for anything to come between them. Yet a strong chain of sterling silver which represents Brian holding and supporting us with his love and strength. His love and support helps me to hold you close and keep you safe and loved. Love shall never be a power to divide. Love's power is to multiply, and so our family grows and evolves. Later tonight, when you hear the song, I Hope You Will Dance, know that this is our dream for the two of you, our nieces and nephews, and your friends we have come to know and to love. And you can all hug. Group hug. Family members and friends, you have just witnessed Brian and Jane exchange their vows and rings. Will you be responsible to help them fulfill their vows? When times are tough, you see one of them wavering, will you actively come along and help them? When anniversaries come up, will you celebrate with them? You are here today because you are important to Brian and Jane, and they invite you to be on this journey with them. If you help them to stay married and strengthen the marriage, will you please respond by saying, we do?
We do.
Thank you. For our final reading, Jane and Brian have asked Sandy Foster, sister of the groom, to come and read The Blessing of the Apaches. The author is unknown.
Now you will feel no rain. for each of you will be shelter to the other. Now you will feel no cold, for each of you will be warmth to the other. Now there is no more loneliness for you, for each of you will be companion to the other. Now you are two bodies, but there is only one life before you. Go now to your dwelling place, to enter into the days of your togetherness, and may your days be good and long upon the earth.
Thank you, Sandy. And now Sarah Foster, niece of the groom, will come and sing Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
Troubles melt like lemon drops high above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me, somewhere over the rainbow. Bluebirds fly, birds fly over the rainbow. Why then, oh why can't I? Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops high above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me, oh, somewhere over the rainbow. Bluebirds fly, birds fly over the rainbow. Why then, oh why can't I?
Thank you, Sarah. That was... You can just leave it. Sarah, that was gutsy. That was beautiful. Brian and Jane, you're committed here today to share the rest of your lives with each other. The unity sand will symbolize that. Andrea and Susie, come join us.
Get it fine.
The beige color represents Brian's life.
Beige. Beige. Brian's beige.
Okay. The white color represents Jane's life. The purple color represents Andrea's life. The pink color represents Susie's life. That's good. And now the couple report there are two colors in at the same time. At the same time. A little bit more. Okay. And behold, the Unity sand. You'll see his color, her color, each of the girls' colors, and then their two colors mixed together. Sometimes pretty evenly, sometimes a little more of his, sometimes a little more of her color. Kind of how marriage is, actually. I encourage you to keep the Unity sand in a prominent place in your home, to look at it often, especially on anniversaries. Look at it to remind you of the importance of your vows and promises. The Unity sand.